Hi, my name is Edgar, also known as Lucid on the Skura Construct forums. I'm the lead programmer for a two-man startup company called Brashmonkey, and we're creating a program called Spriter. Our goal is to create something easy and fun to use, something that's powerful enough to meet or surpass the visuals of any AAA 2D title, and something that can export to a format that can be used by any existing game engine such as Construct 2, Unity, Game Maker, Torque 2D, etc., Unreal Engine 3, but also that can be easily integrated into your own game engine. Before we go into how we plan to meet these ambitious goals and why we think we're already most of the way there, I'm going to take it over to my friend and associate, Mike Parent.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I've been in the game industry for about 8 years. I've had the privilege of being the artist or lead artist for a lot of great titles such as Thor: God of Thunder for the Nintendo DS, Massive Snowboarding for Gameloft, and Batman: The Dark Knight for Glue Mobile. I've been able to work with and earn the respect of a lot of the top producers, art directors, and programmers in the industry. And I earned this appreciation not just by making pretty images, but being a very technically minded artist, being very mindful of workflow, of technical limitations and how to overcome them, just optimization in general when it comes to game-related art and animations. Once I became established in the industry and had enough studios consistently asking me for work, I decided it was time to become a full-time freelancer in hopes of having more time to work on personal game projects. That's when I started creating my side-scrolling adventure game called Prophecies of Nar. I created a demo to help myself design the visual style for the game, which I wanted to not only be a modern homage to classic console platform adventurers, but also to be an art style which would allow for fast production of art by a very small team. Similarly, because I knew I'd be making most of the art myself, I knew I needed a tool which would help make the animating process as quick and efficient as possible.
Ever since 8-bit game consoles, clever game developers have been creating animated characters by combining several separate body part images to form each complete animation frame. This method was not only much faster for the animators, since they would only have to draw a handful of parts and then just move them around, it also allowed the developers to save precious resources, allowing them to have larger characters that animated more smoothly.
Classic examples of this technique include the 2D Rayman titles, Vector Man, Alien Soldier, many amazing bosses showcased in the great games made by Treasure for the Sega Genesis, Mario himself, the list goes on. But this clever method didn't disappear with bulky plastic cartridges. If you've not had the pleasure, I encourage you to check out the visually stunning modern 2D games which use this animation method, such as Odin Sphere for the PlayStation 2 and Muramasa, the Demon Blade for Nintendo Wii. And while there are tools out there such as Flash and Anime Studio that allow artists to create animations in this method, the problem is that they're not designed specifically for creating optimized game data. For the most part, if you want to use the animations created in Flash or Anime Studio for your game engine, you would need to export every last frame of animation as a full frame sequential image. And of course, if your game engine is forced to use full-frame sequential images for everything, you've lost the potentially massive memory savings that otherwise using this animation method would give you. And you've also lost all of the really cool potential game-specific tricks that you can do, like changing a character's armor or weapon or things like that on the fly while the game is running. In order to do that with full-frame images, you would literally need whole new animations of full-frame images for every possible variation of a character. Spriter is going to allow game makers to adjust gameplay-specific features such as collision rectangles, action points, sound effect, and variable triggering in an incredibly visual and natural and easy-to-use interface.
We're really proud of the interface. It's my favorite animation program now, and very easy to learn. You can learn it in 5 minutes, and Mike Parent was there as a professional animator every step of the way to make sure that it has all the features you would need for professional work.
The potential for Spriter is really amazing, and not just for artists like myself. Yes, it will make creating professional quality 2D animations a lot faster and easier for myself, but for game makers in general, this is an incredible opportunity to be able to fit drastically more and smoother animations in your game. And professional artists, including myself, will be making fully professionally animated video game art packs that can be purchased for any game developer that wants a huge head start. Imagine being able to buy, let's say you're making a platformer. Imagine if you're able to buy a fully animated set of game characters and effects for a platformer game, and then you can either yourself edit the handful of body part images and images that are used to create the effects, or instead of hiring a professional artist to create an incredible amount of art from scratch and animations from scratch, now suddenly all you have to do is hire a professional artist to work for a day or two to replace these handful of images, and suddenly now you have completely original art which has already been professionally animated for your game. This really can make super high quality professional 2D art accessible to any independent game maker.
Mike and I both believe very strongly in Spriter's potential, and we both think it's something that developers have been wanting and needing for years. Not just smaller indie developers, but larger developers who don't have the manpower to spare somebody from game development to develop a tool like this. I quit my full-time job in November and used my personal savings to fund the development of Spriter for the last 6 months. And now we need your help to take it from beta to 1.0 and beyond, so we can continue to develop it rapidly and to put it on as many platforms and engines as possible, and to integrate any features that developers or animators demand as it gets into the hands of more people. If you can't afford to pledge, then you can still help out by spreading the word to as many developers and animators and gamers as possible that you think might be interested. And thank you to everyone.